Okay. At number 10.
Top 10.
Top 10 time, baby. All
Hey.
right. At number 10, I have this is tough because I'm still deciding between two teams on the top of my head. But I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles at number 10.
Okay, I got him higher.
I just, you know how I feel about JJ. I feel like he's slightly overrated, but I think he's going.
Twitter chat's different. It's more overrated.
I think he's going to be I think he's going to be solid because Philadelphia has a good O-line. They have a good offense. They have Carson Wentz at quarterback. So he's going to be a good starter for them. Then you have Corey Clement, who I like as a second running back, going to catch the football. I'm still not sold he's a great runner, which is maybe why I don't have them a little bit higher. And, of course, they have Darren Sproles. Question mark off the knee injury for me.
Knee and shoulder.
Sorry?
I said both knee and shoulder injury.
Yeah, so, there's a question there whether he can come back healthy. He's old. So that's why there may be a little bit held back as opposed to a couple other teams who are similar type of running back cores, but I think have less questions to them. So that's why I have the Eagles at number 10.
You're going to see him quite a bit higher considering where I have him at in the top 10. Number 10 for me is the Minnesota Vikings. I like...
Oh, mine's higher.
There you go. See, I knew there's going to be a lot of discrepancies here. I really like what I saw out of Dalvin Cook. Considering I was not the biggest fan of him coming into the draft, I think he shocked me through 4 games and really put up some good statistics. But he broke his knee, torn ACL, I should say. You can't possibly break your knee. But in terms of a torn ACL, it's a 50-50 chance. Sometimes guys can come back 100%, sometimes not so much. So we'll have to see. But if he can provide the same stuff that he did in the first 4 games, I think Kirk Cousins is really going to like that. Latavius Murray, still there. He rushed for pretty much the rest of the season last year and had some really good games to shine with McKinnon. So I think that's a good 1-2 punch right there. And I think this combination is going to help out Minnesota a lot and continue that spark that they had last year in this game. So I got them at number 10.
Okay, at number 9, I have the Tennessee Titans.
Well, you got them okay.
Yeah, Dylan had them a little bit lower than me, but I like this combination between Derrick Henry and Dion Lewis. I think it's the perfect blend of power and quickness. I think Dion Lewis is a great signing, as Dylan stated earlier. Just his ability to make guys miss, catch the football. I wouldn't even be surprised if Lewis in some games gets more touches than Henry does. I would not be surprised about that. But I think Henry is a beast. I think he is going to have a big year this year. And without DeMarco Murray in his way, I think he's definitely going to have some big games. And obviously their offensive line helps. It's going to be a new offense. And I think obviously having Marcus Mariota at quarterback, I think actually helps the running game because he does run somewhat. They do run some read options, some different sort of plays. So I think it does help the running backs. And like I said, I think with Dion Lewis, it gets them back to where they were when DeMarco Murray, maybe not quite the same level, but close to where they were when DeMarco Murray was good a couple of years ago and when Derrick Henry was just entering the league. And I think that's kind of where they're at now. So I think the Titans are at number 9.
Number 9, here we go, is the Rams. I got to put them here. We saw the production out of Todd Gurley. Absolutely fantastic. I love what I saw out of him.
Bro, what happens if Gurley gets hurt?
I understand that. I just say this exact same thing with David Johnson. But I got to put him over some other people based on what I've seen. You can't put injuries as unless if your name's Andrew Luck, I cannot put injuries as a red flag warning thing here. I got to see what I got to see. And Todd Gurley's here. Malcolm Brown, I know you kind of don't like him, but I think he's decent. He's not going to be the best.
I don't not like him. I just don't think he's a guy that can fill in like that.
He won't be if they lose Todd Gurley, Malcolm Brown's not going to be the star. He will not be this big guy.
I think they actually might struggle if they don't have Todd Gurley.
They don't have Todd Gurley? I think they'll have to rely on Jared Goff more, which might struggle him, might be hurt for him. But I got to go off of what I see, and I still think with Todd Gurley, even just by himself carrying this load, he's a top 10 running core. So I got him here at 9.
All right, at number 8, I have my New England Patriots. Patriots. Sorry?
Then I got them higher, quite a little.
Again. Patriots are on Dylan's list. All right. So a lot of this is just how many freaking running backs they have. So they have Sony Michel, who they drafted in the first round. They have Burkhead, they have James White, they have Jeremy Hill, they have Mike Gillislee, and they have Brandon Bolden. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 running backs. Probably at least one of them will be cut, most likely Mike Gillislee. Now, Sony Michel, I think, is going to be I think he's going to be explosive in year one. I think he's going to be a big difference maker. And may I say X factor. We did that video already, but I think he's going to be a big deal. Big deal this year. I think he might be a surprise under the radar rookie of the year candidate. I just don't think he'll get enough touches to become that. Then you have Rex Burkhead, who I think is going to have a better year than he did last year, although I think he was pretty solid in his opportunity. Very good all-around back. Better receiver than runner, but still a decent runner. A guy that Belichick even says can play 4 downs and play special teams, but I think he's going to be really good. And I just really like what these guys can do in the receiving game as well. And then bringing up arguably the most clutch running back in the entire NFL, James White, over the past 2 Super Bowls, has had really big games. And James White's one of the best. I'll put him up there for one of the best receiving backs in the league. Still not a great runner, but for some reason in the playoffs and in Super Bowls, he'll have some big runs and touchdowns. And Jeremy Hill, I think, is interesting. I think Jeremy Hill, his top shelf could be maybe what LeGarrette Blount was for New England, and at the bottom, he could be cut after training camp. But we'll see what happens with Jeremy Hill. Definitely an interesting prospect there. And, of course, Brandon Bolden is kind of Mr. Do-It-All, special teams player mostly, but comes in certain situations. So Patriots have loads of running backs, but I think the big difference maker, Sony Michel, you have James White, Mr. Consistent, and Rex Burkhead, who I think is going to be better than he was last year. So that's why they're at number 8.
So my number 8 pick here is the Atlanta Falcons. I like the pick here with Devontae Freeman, Tevin Coleman. I think it's a good combo. It's a very solid combo. You got Freeman over here. He's the hard rusher. He's going to go in there, be explosive. He almost rushed too hard for himself last year, considering he had the concussion problem. But he's still a very good running back, a guy that I can rely on most of the time and can have some really, really big games. Sometimes he gets stopped. We've seen it before last season, but I still like what he has done. Tevin Coleman as that sneaky second pick. You look at Derrick Henry and Dion Lewis, maybe it pops out the page a little bit more in terms of the combo, but I think Coleman comes in here and provides stuff that Foreman can't do. So they really, they mesh well together. And for Matt Ryan, you've seen it work well together with him and these 2 guys, and I think it's a solid 1-2 combo right here. So at number 8 is the Falcons.
Okay, at number 7. The Dallas Cowboys.
I was waiting for them to come around here. All right, I'll take number 7. I got to buy it.
It's mostly because I've been rating the list. I can't rate them any higher because if Zeke gets hurt, I'm not sold that they can fill in 100%. Now, of course, Zeke's top 5 running back, no debate. So he's in there. You have who can do it all. Then you have Smith, who's the pass catcher, but in certain situations, but again, I don't think he's like on that level of some of these other guys in that area of the game, like White or Powell or Thompson or McCaffrey. Like he's like a level below or 2 levels below those guys. Maybe because he doesn't get enough opportunities. But that being said, they also have Tavon Austin, who they got in a trade, who is going to be a running back. Yep. He's kind of a gadget guy. Maybe he could have a couple big plays. Maybe he gets a few catches. Then they have Scarborough, who I think actually boosts them a spot or 2 up because I think he's going to be good. Watching him at Alabama, I liked his running style, and I think he would actually be the guy to primarily replace Zeke if he were to go down because I think he is the one that could carry the ball the most. And, I have Cowboys. They have 4 backs that I have faith in, but, one's a former receiver. And they don't necessarily have one guy that could come in and necessarily replace Zeke. So that's maybe why they're not in the elite, but they're very close, and they're at number 7.
Okay, I'll feel you there. They're a little bit higher on my list, so I don't think you're gonna like my top 5, but that's fine. I don't know. All right,
fair enough.
Number 7, the Bears here at number 7 on my list. Jordan Howard, Tariq Cohen, bam. What a start right there. I mean, you like the talent that we've seen out of both of these guys. Jordan Howard, very productive. I think with Mitchell Trubisky in year 2, I think he's going to use him very well. Tariq Cohen, I mean, The guy can return footballs. Like it's great that he can do that. I know that's not part of this category, but it's a good thing to see your running back can do that also. Just the quickness of him was very exciting to see last year. Bears fans got a lot to be excited for, considering the last 10 years with it's been very inconsistent and not very good. So I like seeing these two guys coming out here and providing something different to the team, and it's a really good combo. So number 7's the Bears.
At number 6, I have a team you already brought up.
Oh.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
At number 6, wow.
I love the Jaguars running backs.
All right,
because let me put this out there. They are the driving force of their offense. There's no debate about that. They get the ball more than anybody in the entire league. Fournette had, I think, the most carries, and Grant had a lot of carries, and Yeldon had a lot of carries. And I think what we saw from Jacksonville, as opposed to some of these other teams, is that they could also put in some of these running backs and produce when Fournette was injured and still win games when that happened. So I think that's a big deal for me. I'm a big fan of Grant. I think without Ivory there, he could have more opportunity to make some plays. I think he's a good pass catcher. And actually at running back, he's explosive and very, very fast. Yeldon is a good pass catcher, an okay back. And Fournette, I think, is a beast. And I think if he was maybe on a team with a little bit more of a passing attack, he would be even better. So I think Fournette is going to have just as good a year this year, if not better. Then you have Grant and you have Yeldon. So I like the Jacksonville running backs, and definitely the best in AFC South to me, and one of the top 10 in the league at number 6.
At number 6, it's a team you already mentioned. Team you got everywhere. It's the Patriots here at number 6 for me.
I'll take that.
I like the depth. I really like the depth here. Sony Michel, I think he's going to be a beast. It's one of those picks that I'm like, how the fuck did these people let the Patriots pick? Because he's so goddamn explosive. We saw what he did in the college football playoffs. Like, if anybody got the most exposure out of that last year, it was Sony Michel. He's coming to a team that has gotten a lot of exposure over because they're good. So you got him here. I really like the position that he's in. Rex Burkhead, not the biggest fan of, but he still provides something there that he's been there for a couple seasons. James White, I don't even know what to say of him because he's clutch at one point and sometimes he doesn't get a lot of plays, but I really like what he can bring with his pass catching abilities. I know Belichick likes that. Gillislee, I mean, what did he have, like that one big game at the start of the year?
He had like 4 games and he had 5 touchdowns or something, and then he just sucked.
He's like Jonas Gray over here.
Yes.
That was a good one. But yeah, I really like the 3 guys there though. Michelle, Burkhead, White.
No love for Jeremy?
No. Jeremy Hill might not even make this team, bro.
I think he'll make it over Gillislee. Yeah.
And even though I do like Jeremy Hill, I will say I like Jeremy Hill more than Giovanni Bernard. I'm gonna say that right now.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I know people are not gonna like that, but I like him more than Bernard. But yeah, Michelle, he provides a lot of spark, which the running back position for the Patriots has always been very interesting, to say the least. I mean, it's never been like...
I think it's really exciting this year because of Michelle.
Yeah, like he brings like a different presence than we've seen in the running back before.
It's exciting.
Like Deion Lewis, I probably say was the most exciting running back in the last 10 years for the Patriots.
Sure.
Michelle here, comes in with a different spunk. I like it. And I think he boosts them all the way up to number 6 here.
Okay, at number 5, I have another team that Dylan brought up. The Chicago Bears. Bear down. They are a top 5 running back unit. Wow. Jordan Howard is a monster. Tariq Cohen is a sly devil. And I think that this is a really good combination. This is the definition of a combination because you have one guy who's polar opposite to the other. I think in a new offense where John Fox, and they were the whole offense last year. I mean, they had no receivers.
They had no receivers.
They had a rookie quarterback, and John Fox just continued to freaking run the ball. And this year, Matt Nagy, I think, is going to do something special with Tariq Cohen and use his skill set, and he'll be even better player. So you'll have Jordan Howard at his level, Tariq Cohen at an upper level, and you have 2 freaking beasts. And then you have Cunningham as their 3rd string, who I don't think is terrible at all. So I like the Chicago Bears, and I think this is perhaps the part of their team that's being the most overlooked is their running game because of all the signings and things that's happened this offseason.
Okay, number 7, number 5, not bad. My top 5 has 3 teams you've already mentioned, so that's going to be great. But this team you have not mentioned. They're higher on your list. At number 5, I've got the Kansas City Chiefs. I like what I see out of this group. Kareem Hunt exploded year 1. I should say half of year 1, and then had a stoppage because they decided not to run the ball. And then they decided, oh, that works. So we're going to use Kareem Hunt again. So I really like what Kareem Hunt brought last year. He brought some great explosion. There you go. To this offense, which was very creative in its playbook and really helped him be the best that he can be. Spencer Ware and Charchandrick West, those two guys that have been there for the last 3 or 4 years, backing up the big star running back. They can provide some other.
And Ware was hurt last year.
Yeah, he was hurt for quite a bit of the season. So he's coming in being something different. West is going to be your third down running back, which I think is solid for them. And I just like the mix between all three guys because Kareem Hunt is going to make the big plays, obviously, and then these other two guys can come in when he's tired and put down some pretty decent runs for themselves. So, and especially with now coming in here with a rookie quarterback, basically a rookie quarterback. He played 1 game last year, but a second-year quarterback that doesn't have a lot of exposure, take a little bit of load off of him and help this team out. So number 5, got the Chiefs.
Okay, at number 4 for me, the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, okay.
The reason why the Minnesota Vikings at number 4, which is actually higher than their receiver group, I believe, was on my list.
Yeah.
Is because there are only about 3 or 4 teams in the NFL that have 2 guys that I would consider number 1 running backs. And I think the Vikings are one of those teams. Latavius Murray proved last year that when Dalvin Cook was hurt, he could be a number 1 running back. And he was for the Raiders for quite some time, as well as Dalvin Cook, who we saw his flashes last year, definitely looked like a top half running back. So I think if Dalvin Cook can live up to his potential and what he showed in the beginning of this last season, plus what Latavius Murray gave them at the end of last season, that's a very good combination. And that's a combination that is amongst one of the best in the NFL.
Number 4, a team you have already spoken about, the Philadelphia Eagles, coming here at number 4 for me. I like the depth. I mean, even as
don't hate it.
Huh?
I don't hate it.
Okay. I like the depth here. I can say that as a Cowboys fan. I see that there's a lot of good things here. And the running back crew played their part in winning the Super Bowl last season. Jay Ajayi came in here at the deadline. I know some skeptics, the person on the other side, was really, not excited here to see Jay Ajayi. But he proved that he could be a guy. Plus, he's from the same Cullen County here, so that's always positive. Corey Clement.
That's what it is.
That's what it is? Yeah. No, it's not. That's why I had Ronald Jones at 28, you see. Corey Clement, really good rookie season. I mean, undrafted rookie, put up the best numbers you could possibly imagine for a guy like that. And I think they're going to use him even more effectively in year 2. You just like to see the production out of here in this first season. And winning a Super Bowl is a big confidence booster for a guy like that. Darren Sproles, I don't know what he's going to bring. He tore an ACL. He hurt his arm. You're like in the same play. It sucks. But he's going to provide that veteran leadership and probably have one more season to get to this Eagles team because he knows he wants to win and give that focus to the other running backs there. But I like the combination of these 3 guys. Wendell Smallwood, also at the 4. I mean, not a guy you're going to see a lot, but he did play some decent games last year. So these guys can play some different roles, and I think Jay Ajayi is going to have another really good season along with Corey Clement in the, catching some passes. So number 4, I got the Eagles.
At number 3, I have the Atlanta Falcons.
Wow, you did have them quite a bit higher. Okay.
Yes. So reason why, again, I'm going to bring it up again, like I did the Vikings. There's not many teams that I would consider have two running backs that I would put in the top 32 running backs. And to me, Freeman is certainly one of them, and Coleman is another one. So to me, I've also seen it in action. I've also seen these guys replace each other when the other is hurt. I've seen them both do running and receiving very well. I've both seen them come in different situations and perform. Coleman, a little bit faster, straight line, a little bit better receiver. Freeman, a little bit quicker, a little bit more powerful. So they're a very good combination, and I think they're still one of the top 3 in the NFL.
Okay. Now, again, they were number 8, so not too mad about that, personally. At number 3, it is time. The Dallas Cowboys have come onto this list for me. Zeke, I mean, you saw what the guys didn't do with him, when he was not on the field last year.
That's my issue.
Well, it's a different team. It's a different squad. I'm just saying, look at the importance of Zeke Elliott first here. Okay, he's not an injury guy. I mean, I'm not saying it can't happen to anybody, but we have not seen him in his college career or in his NFL career so far have that many times where he's off the football field, unless if it's a suspension. So we got to look at it that way. He provides a lot of great stuff in the backfield and is a great catching back. So I love to see that and, make some big plays on big third down conversions. He certainly can do that, especially with the offensive line. You got to like it. You got to like that stuff. Rod Smith played one or two really good games towards the end of the season. I want to see more come out of him because we just haven't seen a lot of him. But so far, I think he can produce some good carries when Ezekiel Elliott is out. Tavon Austin, I think, is a wild card for me. I have no idea what he's going to provide to this team. And that's coming from me as a Cowboys fan. So I'm interested to see what they do because the play calling for the Cowboys is not very creative, as you guys have seen. So we'll see how that goes. Bo Scarborough, love this pick. Love that they got him here late, very late in the draft. Big dude. Not going to shock a lot of people, but just his aggression is going to bring something different. And I kind of honestly want him to be the number 2 guy, if I'm going to be honest. Number 2 on the depth chart. We might be probably third with Rod Smith at number 2. But I would like to see both of those guys get some time. And I think Zeke is fantastic. So I got him here at number 3.
My number 2 is the Kansas City Chiefs.
There it is. Okay.
Reason why? Kareem Hunt, leading rusher in the NFL last year. Mm-hmm. Then you have at number 2, Spencer Ware, who's the number 1 running back the season before and was supposed to be until he got injured and did not play the entire year last year.
Yeah.
That's something he's coming back. So you have basically 2 number 1 running backs. Then you have Chikandrick West, who is a solid number 3, who can definitely come in the red zone or to catch the ball and do his thing. So I think they have 3 good running backs, definitely a good 1-2, and it's going to be very interesting to see how they split the carries and use both guys. Obviously, Hunt will be the number 1, but then Ware, I think, does deserve his fair share of the ball as well. So I think the Chiefs are definitely kind of under the radar. They're not one of the teams that immediately come to mind, maybe because of the Ware injury, but I think definitely have a good stable of backs. So they're at number 2.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I like the combination. I like the trio, I guess. I like it. Number 2, it's a team you said 5 million years ago, it feels like. Pittsburgh Steelers are here at my number 2.
James Conner's overrated because he had cancer.
You're going to get the heel heat. I do not dislike this video for me. I never said that. Le'Veon Bell, absolutely incredible. Number 1 running back. He can do it all. Even with the amount of talent that they have with Big Ben throwing the ball and Antonio Brown being the best receiver in the game, I also think they have the best running back in the game, which says something because I'm watching Ezekiel Elliott every Sunday. So I
not
love
every Sunday.
When the season starts. Come on now.
Not every Sunday because he's suspended.
Shut up. All right, Le'Veon Bell, I still think is amazing. Number 1 guy. James Conner, I'm not going to put the heel heat on you. I actually think he's pretty decent, all things considered. He hasn't gotten a whole lot of chances considering D'Angelo Williams was their number 2 guy. And now that he's not there anymore.
They will.
I think Conner will get a better opportunity to have some kind of runs. I know you don't like Ridley. I don't know. He's like old shit. By the way.
He's done. Ever since he got hit by Bernard Pollard and couldn't get up, he's done.
He was great. Fitzgerald Toussaint, though, I think is a decent back here as well. But Le'Veon Bell, just absolutely tremendous, and I think he'll be solid. Now, next season, if he doesn't go to this team, they won't be number 2. But as of right now, they're number 2 for me.
Okay.
My
top 2, and they're not number 2. The New Orleans Saints are number 1 for both of us.
Yes, they are.
And why are they number 1, Billy Vanilli?
Well, it's fucking simple. It's got Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram being absolute beasts last year.
2 top 10 running backs.
Yeah.
On their team.
Even with Kamara Ingram being suspended for 4 games. Absolutely incredible what they did last
But the thing about both of them is they can both replace each other and they can both do each other's jobs.
Yep.
Very well. Ingram, Kamara could come in for Ingram and run the ball more and Ingram could come in for Kamara and catch the ball. Like I know AC was like, what, Ingram had this many receptions this year? And it's like, yeah, he's been doing that for like the last 3-4 years. Yeah. So like Ingram's a good receiver. Kamara's a good runner. They're both good at each other's jobs. Obviously, they're different though, because Ingram is more powerful. Kamara is a little bit more quick and flashy. And I think they're just the ultimate combination, and they're the best back, not only duo, but core in the NFL, the New Orleans Saints. And we'll see how it works out with just Kamara in the first 4 weeks, because of course, Ingram is suspended.
I just want to bring up these stats for you guys, because if there's any doubt, this team is not number one. Mark Ingram's stats last year, he had 1,124 rushing yards and 58 receptions for 416 yards. Okay, and then you go over to Alvin Kamara. If this thing wants to load, this is not the right time to do it. Okay, there we go. 728 rushing yards, 81 catches for 826 yards receiving. It's pretty damn good. That's why they're number one.
Yeah, so that's where we're going to end it. The 32 to number one, all 32 running back cores have now been ranked by the Bottom Line View. I hope you guys enjoyed our list. If you did, hit the like button. If you didn't or did, make sure you comment below what you liked and what you didn't like. And also let us know which list did you like more. Did you like my list more? Obviously. Or did you like Dylan's list more? Yeah. Maybe you're more of a James Conner fan than I am. Let us know in the comment section below, and be sure to share the video and hit subscribe if you haven't already to the Bottom Line View for more NFL content. It's Mitch and Dylan. Peace out till next time.